Hello, my fellow nerds. This is Oracle Nerd here, and welcome back once again to our Wonderland Remastered Steam release. So last time we actually left off hanging out with Genzou. And he wants us to take the bike for a test spin. And you know what? Sure, why not? I mean, sure, okay. I throw a hesitant leg over the frame and position myself in the saddle, feet rising up on their toes. Handlebars feel sticky beneath my sweaty palms. I'm not really, good at this though. I wobble forward, spinning wheel first left, then right, then back to the left. I feel it tipping, but can't do anything about it. The hopeless, oh no! The two of us go down. Gizzo just laughs and lets out a groan. Slow down there, Lance. I'll need to fix it again at this rate. Not sure I'm the best partner to have in the shop. I pull myself back up to my feet and lug the bike back with me. Nah, you're great. Wouldn't change a thing about ya. There's something about those words that gives me pause. I feel the tendrils of heat lap at my cheeks. But it's a comforting feeling rather than an awkward one. The kind that loosens the muscles in my shoulders and untwists my bowels. Homie. Anyway, what do we do now? You said they're gonna pick it up later? Yeah, sometime this afternoon. He palms his phone. Hey, Dougal, what time is it? It is 2:34 p.m. We probably got some time then. Let me lug this thing up front. Then we can kick things back with some beers. I wheel the bike out to the front of the shop area as Genzou cleans up the leftover parts and scraps. The newly restored frame gleams next to the siblings beneath the fluorescent light. Back here, Riggs, Genzou calls as I start back and see him scrounging around in a small fridge at the back of the shop. He pulls two beers out from the bottom shelf. Convenient, I muse at my approach. Isn't it, though? Genzou laughs. It's great being your own boss sometimes. He reaches towards the wall and feels for the nearby handle, tugging open the door with to the back patio. The sun is high in the sky by this point, but our little area is shaded, looking out across a small wooded area behind the development. Gizzo kicks his foot out to locate the lawn chair and has clearly seen its fair share of use before sinking down into it with a sigh. He gestures towards the other side of the door. There should be another one over there. I find it as promised, fold up against the wall and carry it over to join him. Gizzo pops open his beer, takes a sip, clasps his legs out in front of himself. I follow suit. Honestly, this is giving me vibes of that one King of the Hill scene they use over and over, where it's just the guys they're drinking beers. It's just yep, 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 mm-hmm. Like I feel like they fit in right there. There's a wonderful little breeze whistling through the trees and playing with my curls. For just a second, I'm back in grade school, and Genzo and I have just come back from an expedition in the woods, feasting on our well-earned spoils of orange soda and ice pops. Genzo scrounges around in his pocket before pulling out a pack of cigarettes. He brings them to his lips, lights it with a flick of his lighter. Then he sits back and takes a long, slow drag before blowing the stream of smoke out into the air. So, when are you and Gidget getting together, huh? He asked out of the blue. The question catches me off guard and nearly choke on my beer. What? Gidget just shrugs as the cigarette bounces between his lips. Always figured it was inevitability myself. Just didn't know when. I mean, I run a hand through my hair, nails scratching my scalp. I never really thought about it. Never? Genzo raises an eyebrow. I don't know, maybe? But I don't know. My knee is bouncing like a jackhammer. Genzo is quiet, head pointed lazily skyward. He takes a sip from his beer, then taps the ash off the end of his cigarette. Didn't know it was such a touchy subject, he finally says with a grin. It's not. I just don't think about that type of stuff often. Genzou turned towards me, and I could practically see him blinking in amused interest beneath his sunglasses. You're a bit of an odd duck, you know that, Iggs? Oh, and you're a portrait of normalcy, I crack. Ha! This elicits a laugh. I suppose you got a point there. He slaps his stomach. At least I've got this big old belly of mine to keep me company into my ripe old age. It's the only thing I can put up with my quirks. I frown. My mind goes back to the night prior, to what Orlov said, and what Genzo had seemed pretty adamant on avoiding. I rubbed the, I rubbed my mouth of the, I rubbed the mouth of the beer across my lips absentmindedly, watching him for a few moments. You know, I finally say, letting the sound stretch just a few more moments. You can always tell me anything, right? If you want to, of course. Genzo was quiet. His head is pointing up towards the trees now, and he's got a cigarette perched at the end of his lips. The little cigarette waggle. Up, down, he wiggles it back and forth. Finally grabs it between his fingers, cocking it out at an angle as he blows a plume of smoke. I'll tell ya. I'll tell ya once you got yourself hitched and popped out 2.5 kids in a white picket fence to corral them. How about that? Then we'll be able to have ourselves a good laugh about it. I don't say anything. Or, and hear me out, he continues. You get yourself good and famous. You know, churn out hit games and get yourself a big old apartment in New York City with 6 lovely ladies at your beck and call. Whichever comes first. Those are some high demands. Hey, I expect a lot out of you. What can I say? Clearly. The silence returns, and we sit there, sipping on our beers, taking in the breeze, listening to the birds somewhere up in the trees. It's nice. Like equivalent to being at home by myself. Not sapping me of energy nice. Not demanding or expecting anything of me nice. Just feeling at ease. Genzo reaches over, feels for my arm, gives it a squeeze. Hey, thanks for coming over, you know. I return his squeeze with a squeeze of my own, wrapping my fingers around his knuckles. I hold it for perhaps a moment too long. Of course. Aw, they're so cute together. I get back to my apartment a bit before dinner time, and despite the fatigue tugging at my mental muscles, somehow I feel, I don't know, lighter? My head a bit clearer. I can feel myself smiling as I think about the evening ahead and how much work I still have left to do. I order myself beef and broccoli from a little Chinese place a few blocks over to assuage the hunger growing in my belly, then set myself to work. I need to focus, get at least a few solid hours before bed. I can still catch up relatively easily, so long as I don't slack. I just need to find my groove. And make it around 11 before I find myself making errors I definitely shouldn't be making, which means it's time to call it quits for the day. So I retreat to the bed and get a good 30 minutes of reading in before my eyes start drooping and my head starts comprehending the words on the page. Time to sleep. I don't think about Hooner or Bucks again until I turn off my bedside lamp. By that point, I'm so tired that it isn't more than a passing thought as I bury my head into my pillow. I'm sure it's fine. I'll call tomorrow. I dreamed that night. I'm in the woods and someone's calling me. I chase after the voice in darkness, but every time I think I'm getting close, it comes from a different direction. Iggy. I run faster. The branches whip in my face, roots underfoot threatening to send me tumbling to the dirt. Come find me, Iggy. I run and run and run. Run until I reach some sort of clearing. What is this place? It's a giant gate at the far end. Though I'm not even sure if gate is the right word. More like barrier built from warped and knotted trees. There's a lock on it. A giant keyhole carved from dark wood. As I let my fingers trace the rounded curves, my voice returns. Open it. Open it? Open it how? I glance down and find him holding a doll. Its button eyes stare up at me vacantly. Its long hair falling between my fingers. I look back at the lock. It's no longer only it's no longer a lock. It's a heart. Beat, beat, beating. I try to take a step back. Something grabbed my hand. A tiny set of fingers. Too scared to look, but I have to. I have to know. I start to turn my head, only for a voice was right next to my ear. Please kill me, Iggy. I gasp and sit up. Only now I'm back in my bed and the sun is reflecting off the window straight into my eyes. I groan, my head still thudding away inside my chest. My heart still thudding away inside my chest. I wait a few moments before I sense the reality to return before shaking my head and climbing out of bed. It's late, far later than I usually wake up. And as taking my first sip of coffee, I remember Hooner. Worry bubbles up somewhere around my diaphragm. I should call. The number's still the last one on my recent, but it only takes a second before the phone is ringing. But I catch the voicemail on the fifth ring. Damn. I know on the inside of my cheek. The bubbles of worry are starting to turn into froth. But what am I supposed to do at this point? Besides, I'm still playing catch up with the work I didn't get to yesterday. I don't have a ton of spare capacity to spend worrying. I'll try again later. For now, it's back to work. I try to focus, to concentrate on my work. But even the thought of a looming deadline isn't enough to keep my thoughts from straying. First, first to Hooner, the way his voice had quaked on the phone. Then to Bucks, and the way her voice had crackled with anger during their argument. Then for some reason, Genzo. So the way his voice sounds when he says my name, comforting. Like being wrapped in a warm blanket. All these different voices, I shake my head. This isn't a time for daydreaming. I need to get this thing done. I get a few good hours, but I'm not practically confident it's my best work. I'll probably need to go back through everything tomorrow just in case. I tried calling Hooner again later afternoon, but there's still no answer, which only agitates the gurgle of unease turning at my bowels further. It's even affecting my appetite at this point. Nothing sounds good. Nothing healthy, at least. So I simply reach for some half-eaten snacks in the pantry. Night falls along with my motivation. I'm past the point of even trying to divert my attention. I sit at the window and watch Mrs. Dawnish make her third trip to the mailbox that day. Then retreat to my bed, figuring I'll play some music and try to relax, get an early night's sleep. Tomorrow should have some answers. But even my normal beats only serve to make my nerves dance in different patterns. I cover my head with my pillow, lie with my feet at the head of my bed, move to the floor, move to a chair in the living room. I sit there for a while, in the dark, just staring at the wall like an insomniac. Then at some point my gaze falls. My messenger bag is still slumped on the floor from the far counter from where I tossed it the other night. In a split second before my eyes focus on it, I swear I see it move. What the? I blink, glance nervously around the dark apartment. But it's empty. Of course it's empty. Fuck, I'm really starting to lose it. I need to get out. Get some fresh air. Clear my head. I push myself up and out of the chair with a little wobble and grab my keys. Then step outside. The breeze feels refreshing on my cheeks. And, and when I take a deep breath, it curls up in my lungs like a giant whiff of menthol. Maybe I just been cooped up for too long. I start down the sidewalk, my steps disguised by the hum of cicadas. Past the neighboring apartment complexes, past the small houses with a single car garages. Soon I've left Brookside behind me, and I find myself instinctively heading north towards my folks' old house. The outcropping of woods where there still hasn't been built for over even after all these years. My palm tingles, like pinpricks, a pinprick like scratching that jumps from one nerve ending to the next and makes my fingers twitch. I curl my arms around my chest in an effort to dull the growing spark. Why did I stop, glance around. Why did I walk all the way out here? I shiver. The breeze that once felt cool and refreshing suddenly feels frigid against my bare arms. But instead of heading back, I press further across the empty lot between the houses, towards the blackness of the woods beyond. I stop at the threshold between light and dark, one hand up to trace the bark of the nearest tree. What am I doing? What am I doing? Yeah, what am I doing at the entrance of the forest? My whole is throbbing now, as though a thousand tiny insects are biting and jabbing and gnawing at the skin. Step forward. Bridge steps more than a few feet away. My heart leaps to my throat and throw my hands up and squawk. Who's there? Christ in a handbag! I'll scare the bejesus out of me. Pause. Wait, Iggs, is that you? I lower my arms and squint as the shadow moves away from the nearby tree. It's Genzo. Just Genzo. The rapid hammering in my heart begins to recede. Somehow the orange tint of the hat in the darkness feels incredibly comforting all of a sudden. He reaches out with his cane to find me, then gives me a couple crisp whaps on the ass to usher me closer. Damn, Iggs, I've seen more of you these last few days than I have in the last year. I'd almost think you were stalking me, except that I know you. Well, you. Did being in my presence suddenly spark a deep, unyielding need for inappropriately timed drollery? You wish. What were you even doing out here? Could ask you the same thing. I scratched the back of my neck, shuffled on my feet. I mean, was just taking a walk. Same. Couldn't sleep? Nah. We grow quiet. A strange chill begins creeping up my spine. Wonder if Gendo had the same urge to get out of the house as I had. So, now comes the question of the hour. Yeah? You were, going there, were you? I wasn't really thinking about it. Me neither. A pause. You don't think. I don't know. Guess we don't know if we don't check. Yeah. Now a hoots from somewhere in the darkness. Let's go then? Lead the way. Throw a glance at the black void between the trees, then step aside. The air instantly cools. It's a damp chill, the kind that sticks to your skin and weighs down your chest. I press forward through the scattered brush, using my hands to keep from walking face first into a tree. I hear Genzo's cane whipping through the grass, snapping against the bark behind me. I focus on that familiar sound. It keeps my nerves from jumping out of my skin. I have to say, if I'm going to be walking through the woods at night, I'm at least glad it's him I'm with. His mere presence dulls the sharp bite of anxiety that gnaws at my insides. I reach forward, seeking out the bark of the next tree, while this time when my fingers touch the jagged edges, it sends a spark all the way up my arm and into the back of my throat. I stop. Genzo's cane whacks against my ankles, and he stops too. We here? Yeah, I answer before I have a chance to check. I know because I know. How can I not? Biggest tree in the forest. Its base like a giant boulder choked with winding roots. I let my fingers trace across the surface as I circle around, careful not to trip on the gnarled outgrowths. Halfway around, my hand hits air. I come to a halt. Familiar edges are there, the rounded gap in the side, a hollowed echo of stagnant air, the far off scent of something sweet. It's open. I take a step back and hear Genzo approach. Jesus. My whole body is crackling with energy now. Even the breeze seems to have shifted, everything moving towards that hole in the side of the tree. When was the last time? Genzo's voice is a whisper. I don't remember. I throw a glance at Genzo. I can just make him out in the darkness. He's got his hand curled up under his hat, nail scratching his scalp. I lick my lips, scratch my arm. Something feels wrong. Too wrong. And there's a strange sense of familiarity in all this. Almost as though I stood in this exact spot, had the same conversation, the same, and the outcome had been less than desirable. My stomach gurgles. I glance over at Genzo. Are you getting the weirdest sense of deja vu, or is it just me? What do you mean? I mean, like we did this before, the two of us. I think I'd remembered if we'd taken a romantic midnight stroll in the woods before eggs. I roll my eyes. Whatever, it's probably nothing. This whole situation is just weirding me out. I expect another smart retort from Genzo. Something about how normal life is is enough to weird me out, but there's nothing. And when I glance over, he's just standing there, face grim, jaw tight. You okay? What? Oh, yeah, just felt real hot all of a sudden. Must be going through menopause. I cock a brow, turn back to roll towards the same hole all the same. What do you think then? Should we go in? My voice hitches. Somehow I feel like we don't have much choice. Move forward towards the hole, popping a squat amongst the weeds. There's a scent again, soft, sweet, like tempting aroma of candy store. It curls up inside my nostrils. I grab the rounded edges and peek inside, leaning forward on my toes. We're sure it's not just some possum hole? Wouldn't that be hilar? Genzo's from behind. I can't tell if he's joking. I turn my head to look back when I whack my forehead at the top of the edge and lose my balance. I land with a bruise-inducing thud in the shins and let out a string of four-letter words. For just a moment, I'm teeter-tottering, swaying back and forth on top, atop the bottom edge. Then my forward weight wins until further and further, and topple straight into the hole. Here we go, back again. The darkness swallows me. I'm falling. The wind whips my hair, my shirt, summoning water in my eyes. My stomach feels like it's sucked straight up into my bowels. On and on. Complete nothingness surrounding me, consuming me. But there's a strange sense of familiarity in darkness too. Almost as though it's welcoming me back? I reach out, almost expecting something to grab my hand, but there's nothing. Nothing and no one, and all at once I feel incredibly alone. Iggy! I look around. Where's that coming from? It feels like it's coming from everywhere, nowhere at all. What do you want, Iggy? What do I want? What kind of question is that? What do you wish for more than anything else in the whole world? That's... I don't know? Think about my life. Think about my apartment in Brookside. Think about my friends. Bucks and Hooner, Gidget and Orlam, Genzou. I clench my eyes shut tighter. My heart feels confused. Like it wants something, but it doesn't even know what. And somehow that thought is so terrifying that I would rather just not want it at all. I don't know. I don't know what I want. My fingers start to tingle. First tiny nibbles of numbness, then building into incessant zaps of electricity. Up my up my arms they go, growing and growing into my chest and my stomach shooting down my legs. Loud, so loud I can't think. I think I can't take it anymore. My mind goes blank. Iggy! I hear my name. That voice again. The one that wraps around me like a warm blanket. Iggy! Is it morning? I don't remember going to sleep. In fact, I don't remember much at all. But I don't mind. As long as the voice keeps saying my name. My mouth curls into a smile as I try to turn over and drip back into nothingness. Just 5 more minutes. For fuck's sake, Iggs, you're gonna get yourself buried in there. My eyes snap open. This isn't my bed. In fact, this isn't even my room. These certainly aren't my stuffed animals. My hundreds of thousands of stuffed animals. The pile of them is overtaken in the corner of the room, almost like someone spilled a gigantic box of them through the hole in the roof. A very, very high hole in the roof. I stare up at the same hole now, blinking in silence, until an orange cat's head overtakes my view. Good morning, Starshine. The Earth says hello. Good old reference to Charlie in the Chocolate Factory. Was it Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory? Was it Charlie or Willy Wonka? Which Chocolate Factory movie was it? Oh no, it was Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory, right? Or was it? I don't remember which one was the original though. Like, it sort of blurs for me. Genzou, we fell through the hole. Very good, Eggs. We did fall through a hole. Genzo yanks me up by my wrist, extracting me from my piles of animals. Takes every ounce of concentration to not fall straight back to the floor. And now at the bottom of that hole. Because that's what happens when you fall down a hole. I pat my head, my cheeks, my waist, side of my legs. But did we really? My gaze wanders around the rest of the room. It's somehow just like I remember it. The warm grain of hardwood floor. The rounded windows. The crackling fire of the nearby stove, kettle ready at the boiler. The small table in the middle of the room, half-eaten cookies, cakes, and sweets still litter the checkered cloth. This is some grade A fucked up shit is what it is. But hey, what else is new? Am I right or am I right? The sound of me snaps my wonderment. I turn back to Genzou, who's currently testing the stability of one of the chairs. And I realize that he's not wearing sunglasses. Genzou, where? Except I don't finish. Because Genzou turned to look at me. Like, at me. His dark brown eyes dilating as his slight focus shifts. I take a step back quickly and knock my head against the curb behind me. Fuck, Genzou, you... I rolled back my head with a wince. Yeah. You mean you can actually... You could... What do you want me to do? I wasn't gonna lie. I know at the top of my lip. I can't stop staring. This feeling is curling up around my heart. A mixture of guilt and something else. Worry? Embarrassment? Genzou scowls and jerks his head away. What am I, a new exhibit at the Lover? Cut it out already. He adjusts his cap in obvious discomfort. Besides, it's not like this is permanent. Yeah, but still, you mean you're not even at all? Oh yeah, I've had my obligatory teary-eyed moment, cradled you in my arms, and I wept like a fucking baby. Somebody even started playing I Can See Clearly Now. Loudly. On a recorder. Straight into my ear. But fuck that, I'm not gonna let myself get separated from reality. I'm sure as hell not staying down here any longer than we need to. This is wrong, all of it. We're not supposed to be here. Finally, I pull my gaze away, attention returning to our quaint surroundings, nostalgic smell of spice curling up inside my nasal cavity. I'm bringing a hand under my hair, trying to calm the air and curls. I'm suddenly feeling very self-conscious about how I look. Can't argue with that. Somehow I don't know. It's like looking behind the curtains at something you're not supposed to see. I will say though, Eggs, you turned out exactly how I always pictured in my mind. Genzou puts his hand to his hips. This shoots my head up. Oh, and how's that? Like a loser. You fucker. I jump at it before I can stop myself, hands grabbing his collar before his jacket. He laughs. Then just quickly I come rush over, he throws me down and pins me to the floor. My head rings from the impact. Damn, I haven't been able to do that in a while. My vision stabilizes, I look up, see him staring down at me. Well, this is awkward. Okay, now you're just weirding me out. At least take me to dinner first. Okay. I remember these options. At least take me to dinner first. Not about to let myself lose this battle of snark. I spit out the retort I can come up with on the spot. You know you can at least take me to dinner first before you throwing yourself at me. He jerks his hands away as though he touched a hot poker. He sits back with a cough. Jokes are as bad as always, I see, he says with a laugh. Hey, you wouldn't have me any other way, am I right or am I right? I follow up, doing my best impersonation of him as I can. Yeah. Gizzy just rubs at the back of his neck, his eyes somewhat strained. He looks away, turning his attention back to the room. Damn, all the memories though. He pushes himself up to his feet. Remember the first time? We had no idea I would get back, so we all just piled into the bed because we were so fucking exhausted. I throw a glance at the bed and question before following suit. It looks so small now. Back then, it fit all 5 of us. Well, mostly. Pretty sure I kicked all of them off. It's true though. The more I look around, the more it comes back. Starting out as nothing more than flickering images. Then like snowballs, rolling themselves into a full-fledged memories. The 5 of us huddled together beneath the blanket, tired and scared and unsure of how we were going to get home. Only to wake up the next morning back in our own beds as though nothing had happened. And then later that day, we all been too scared to say anything, just stay there, picking at our food silent as the grave at lunch. Until Genzou popped the question we all been waiting for, and it'd been like floodgates had gone off. All of us laughing, recounting our adventures, excitedly planning when to go back again. The thought of it brings a smile to my face, and I let my thumb trace over the round curve at the bottom bedpost. You think the rest of those fuckers are here then? Genzou says softly. I'm not even sure he's talking to me at first. I turn away from the bed and find him investigating the kettle. He pokes with his finger. He immediately pulls it away, bringing the tip of his finger to his mouth. I don't know, but somehow it feels like... Before I can finish my endless thoughts, sound footsteps cuts me off. Heavy, march-like, again and again, steady and methodical. Throw a glance at Genzou. We both dash to the window. We squeeze our heads inside the rounded frame, eyes seeking out the source of the sound. But even as I'm crouched there, waiting, a trickle of dread begins pulling my bowels. Almost like I'm watching a scary movie and I know the scare oncoming. I lick my lips, tighten the fingers on the sill, and then they come, 2 by 2, round the corner. Crisp and methodical. Spears swinging in sync. I hear Genzou's breath hitch next to me, but neither of us has a word. Somehow it's like we're both expecting this. The rabbit lead comes to an abrupt halt. His ears straight up, like lightning rods baiting a storm. Nose twitches once, twice, 3 times. He spins around, and the rabbits behind him jump into gawkish salutes. The dread of the gut is building. I feel myself to sweat. Where is he? Where is he? A high-pitched squawk rattles the window pane, and I bring my hands to my ears on instinct. No. I don't want to see this. I don't want to see this. The other rabbit seems confused. They remain quiet, simply retching their heads back and forth in search of some unknown entity. Sentry 218, you overgrown rodents! There's prompts about face from the soldiers of the battalion, who quickly spin on their heels to face a single rabbit in the back, the only one without a partner. Batman flinches and steps back. Thud, thud, thud. Each impact of the rabbit's boots on the hard earth makes the walls of our small cottage shake as he storms to the back of the rank. His next words are screeched less than an inch from the lone soldier's fidgeting nose. Not the one I told you to keep that fucking line, sentry. Pause. He grabs the other rabbit's ear, half yanking out of his skull in order to read what looks like some sort of metal tag affixed to the mangled cartilage. Sentry 104? He lets out his ear, and 104's head jolts backwards. So tell me, where is 218? I slam my back against the wall. I don't want to watch. I know what's going to happen. I don't know how I know it's... somehow I just know. You okay, Iggs? I'm fine. I'm fine. Except I don't know what to say. Don't know how to explain it. That overwhelming sense of dread currently paralyzes my body. Genzou watches me for a second, not saying anything. Then turns his gaze to the window. I see him wince. Twitch. But when his eyes start bug out of his head, I quickly twist away. Hands tight around my ears, I stare at the far wall. Stare at the pattern of the bed sheets. Try to summon the mental image again of all of us in the bed, cozy and warm. Someone's tucking us in, reading us a story, kissing our heads. In my head, I glance out to see a pair of long, droopy ears. Fuck. This draws me back to reality and rabbits outside. I glance at Genzou, whose face goes completely white. Jesus. I wait another second. Then, are they gone? Yeah, they're leaving. I let out a breath I hadn't realized I'd been holding and slumped away from the wall. Good call looking away, Iggs. I'm definitely gonna have to see a therapist about what I just saw for 4 to 5 years. What happened down here? I finally managed. Something that wasn't supposed to, that's for sure. He throws another glance at the window. We're really going out there then? I sigh, run a hand to my hair. I mean, do we really have much of a choice at this point? All this feels like I bring hands up wistfully. Like everything's made up and the points don't matter. I shoot Genzou a dirty look. Hey, my life's basically an improvised tragicomedy already. How much worse could it get? I don't respond. But something churning in my gut tells me it's about to get a lot worse. A lot worse. God damn. The two of us look down at the dead body of Sentry 104. Alright. I think this is a good time for me to leave this video here for now. So, Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to leave a like, comment what you think, share this video with your friends, and be sure to subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss a single notification. I'll see all of you in the next video. Goodbye.